A kid who once made just $200 a month in Turkey now owns a $185 million NBA contract. This isn't a fairy tale. It's the rise of Alperen Şengün, the player rewriting basketball history with every move he makes. 18 years ago, in the quiet coastal city of Giresun, Turkey, few would have imagined a global superstar being born there. Giresun wasn't Istanbul, it wasn't Ankara, and it certainly wasn't known for basketball. It was a soccer town, where kids grew up worshiping Galatasaray or Fenerbahce on the pitch. Yet in 2002, Alperen Şengün was born into that culture, destined to flip the script. As a child, Alperen didn't even see basketball as his future. He swam, he practiced gymnastics, he played soccer like every other Turkish kid. But by age 10, something shifted. His height, his coordination, his sense for spacing, it was obvious. Basketball wasn't just a game for him, it was calling him. By 2012, he joined the Giresun University youth team. He wasn't polished, he wasn't famous, but he was relentless. And then came the turning point. In 2014, during a youth festival, coach Ahmet Gürgen of Bandırma BK spotted him. That single moment changed everything. Imagine being 12 years old, leaving your family behind, and moving 300 miles away just for a shot at basketball. That's what Şengün did. He earned about $200 a month, not exactly superstar money, but it was the first stepping stone. Nights were lonely, practices were grueling, but he never complained. By 2018, he was suiting up for Bandırma's senior team at just 16. His first pro game? Modest numbers. 2 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists in 13 minutes. But March 10, 2019, told a different story. 22 points, 16 rebounds. That's when Turkey really started to pay attention. In the 2019-20 season, he lit up the Turkish Premier League and the Basketball Champions League. His 25-point, 13-rebound explosion against Nymburk in the playoffs stamped his arrival. But just as things were heating up, Bandırma collapsed financially. The team went bankrupt. For most teenagers, that would have been the end. For Şengün, it was the beginning. In 2020, he signed a 3-year deal with Beşiktaş, one of Turkey's powerhouse clubs. Right away, he delivered. 17 points in his debut, then big games against Fenerbahce and Galatasaray. And on January 23, 2021, he blocked 8 shots in a single game, the most in the league since 2013. That season, he became the youngest MVP in Turkish league history at just 18 years and 265 days. The NBA scouts had already noticed. In the 2021 draft, Oklahoma City selected him 16th overall, but within minutes he was traded to Houston. That move would define his career. Şengün's NBA debut in October 2021 was solid. 11 points, 6 rebounds, 3 steals. But what impressed coaches wasn't just the box score. It was his vision, his passing, his patience. He wasn't trying to be flashy. He was trying to win. By November, he had his first double-double. By January 2023, he recorded a triple-double, making him the youngest center in NBA history to do so. That put him in a conversation with Nikola Jokic, but with a Turkish twist. He wasn't just another big man. He was rewriting how the center position could look. Every milestone seemed to come earlier than expected. By 20, he had reached 1,000 points and 200 assists, the youngest center ever to hit that mark. By 21, he had 500 assists, breaking Nikola Jokic's record. Think about that, breaking Jokic's passing record as a center. And then came March 6, 2024. Rockets versus Spurs. All eyes on Victor Wembanyama, but Şengün stole the show with a career-high 45 points, 16 rebounds, and 5 steals. Against the so-called future of basketball, he reminded everyone, the future is already here. That performance didn't just earn headlines. It announced him as a star. By 2025, there was no debate left. Alperen Şengün was named an NBA All-Star, the first Turkish All-Star since Mehmet Okur, back in 2007. For Turkey, it was a moment of pure pride. For Houston, it was validation that their rebuild had a cornerstone. Then came the contract that shocked the basketball world. On October 21, 2024, the Rockets locked him up with a 5-year, $185 million extension, the biggest deal in Turkish sports history. Just a decade earlier, he was making $200 a month. Now, he's worth nearly $200 million. That's not just growth. That's a global sports miracle. But Şengün's rise is about more than money or numbers. He has transformed how Turkey sees basketball. Since his arrival in the NBA, Turkish NBA viewership has jumped by 400%. Kids in Istanbul, Ankara, and even tiny towns like Giresun are picking up basketballs instead of soccer balls. The Rockets have even announced plans to host basketball camps in Turkey, proof of the cultural bridge Şengün has built. And let's be honest, he's not just a stats guy. His game has personality. The pump fakes, the crafty footwork, the no-look passes. He plays with a joy that reminds fans of a young Manu Ginobili mixed with the vision of Jokic. It's unorthodox, but it works. Of course, it hasn't been all smooth. His defense was questioned early on. Critics said he was too slow, too undersized to guard elite centers. But in 2025, he silenced a lot of that talk. His improved positioning and relentless work ethic have turned him into at least a capable defender. And when you're dropping 25, 30, or 45 on the other end, capable is more than enough. Rivalries have also started brewing. That battle with Wembanyama wasn't a one-off. Every matchup between Houston and San Antonio now feels like a preview of the NBA's future. Sengun versus Wemby, the crafty undersized big versus the freak of nature. It's the kind of storyline the league thrives on. And then there's Luka Doncic, two European superstars, both redefining the game in different ways. Doncic as the do-it-all point forward, Şengün as the new-age big man. When the Rockets meet the Mavericks, it's not just Texas basketball, it's Europe's best on display. For Houston, Şengün isn't just a player, he's the foundation. With Jalen Green's inconsistency, Amen Thompson's youth, and Dylan Brooks' unpredictability, it's Şengün who gives them stability. Every possession runs smoother when he's touching the ball. What makes this story truly incredible is how it resonates back home. In Turkey, where families once dreamed of raising the next soccer star, kids are now saying, I want to be like Alperen. He's done what Hakeem Olajuwon did for Nigeria, what Yao Ming did for China. He's put his country on the basketball map. But here's the kicker, he's only 23. Think about that. Most players don't hit their prime until 27 or 28. If this is what he's doing now, what happens in 5 years? 10 years? Could we be watching the rise of not just an all-star, but an MVP? And that's the part people often forget. Prime years don't happen overnight. Between ages 27 to 30, that's when most NBA legends actually peak. Sengun is only 23, which means he hasn't even scratched the surface of what his body and basketball IQ will look like once he hits that window. For Houston, that's a massive opportunity. Imagine a fully developed Sengun surrounded by the right shooters, defenders, and maybe even another superstar. That's when the Rockets shift from being a fun young team to a legitimate contender. For Turkey, the dream isn't just an MVP trophy. It's seeing one of their own standing on the biggest stage in basketball, holding the Larry O'Brien Championship Trophy. That kind of moment would echo far beyond Houston, turning Sengun into a global icon and solidifying his place as one of the faces of the NBA for the next decade. The NBA is changing, and Alperen Şengün is part of that change. Big men are no longer just rim protectors. They're playmakers, scorers, leaders. And from a small town on Turkey's Black Sea coast, one kid decided to take that role and redefine it for an entire generation. From $200 a month to $185 million, Şengün's story feels less like sports and more like destiny. Do you think he'll bring an MVP to Houston? Or maybe even a championship to Turkey's favorite son? Drop your thoughts and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more.